Hey guys, so this is going to be another youth center dungeon update, the youth center basement. I know I have not done one of these in a while, so I'm pleased to show you guys some updates that I did tonight. So starting in the front room as we usually do, these are all the same. I actually do have some swaps and things that I'm planning on doing in this room. I just did not get a chance to do them tonight. But to give you an idea, there's currently 4 fans in here. My end goal is to have 7 in here. I have another gazebo just like this. I have another Sierra just like that. And I have a 42-inch Harbor Breeze Calera, which is basically the Harbor Breeze equivalent of this guy. So those will be added at some point to make this 7 fans, and then they'll just be kind of 2 rows, much like the third room. But as it stands, these fans are the same. And then the Emerson Round Nose is still doing really well up there. It does seem that the church people have been enjoying this fan because there's been multiple times that I've come here and found that the light was on, and I usually don't leave it on, so somebody else has definitely been turning it on. So I'm glad they're making some use of it. Yeah, these fans are all the same. All right, and then center room, there is one update to show. These are all the same right here. So what you see here is a Hampton Bay Genoa, and this is basically the Hampton Bay Emperor. I got this from Ben Phelps, and I believe it was Donovan Blahut that brought it to Fanimation for me, but Ben picked it up from one of his favorite thrift stores near where he lives. So thank you to both of them for getting that to me. But yeah, this is the Genoa in white, which is kind of interesting. You don't see them in white too often. Usually polished brass is the more common offering. But yeah, pretty neat fan. And the reason I ended up swapping this, before there was a SMC Futura, I actually took that fan down because somebody was interested in buying that fan. So I took that one down, and this is the replacement. So yeah, and this was so another Fanimation find. And I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it in this room, and honestly, I like it more than I thought I would. It actually looks really good there. Like how we got some pretty solid variety here. But yeah, so and this one is from 1996, and I believe it is an air cool, aka, or well, maybe air cool or maybe CEI. Those, I have a hard time telling the difference between those two, but I think it's one of those two. But yeah, with cane, which is nice. I have a feeling this was used pretty heavily because the bearings in it are definitely worn. I gave them a shot of oil, which definitely helped. But they're pretty high mileage bearings, I think, so that whoever originally owned this definitely used it. Also, when I got it, it did not have any light on it. It was just a switch cap, so I added the schoolhouse globe, which I thought looked really nice on it. I think that's the most popular choice with an Emperor. And then I also added the Hampton Bay fobs on there. So I always think that's a nice touch. So all right, let's go ahead and run through the speeds on this. There's low. It's very quiet for sure, like a lot quieter than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, nice low. All right, let's go to medium. This thing actually does use capacitor-based speeds, believe it or not. I was very surprised to see that. Which I guess would explain why the speeds are so quiet. Did not come with a down rod. This is exactly how it was how it was found, so I just left it flush mounted, but you could obviously could add a down rod if you wanted. All right, and then let's go to high. Some harmonics on this. I'm not 100% sure if this high is correct. It seems a little on the slow end to me. Granted, this is my first Genoa ever, but I'm not sure if this looks a little on the slow side to me. Might be worth checking the capacitor at some point, but still a decent breeze even like those. There's without the light on. Yeah, a lot of 90s Hampton Bays are mad childhood for me. Funny enough, the Genoa I don't really remember seeing as a kid. That was one I only saw after getting into collecting, because I think they had mostly phased this out by the mid-90s. In fact, 96 is pretty late for this, actually. I think 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there, I think was the end of the line for the Genoa. But yeah, this is definitely a late one. But yeah, that Hampton Bay sticker, definitely remember seeing a lot of that. So, all right, let's turn this back to low, put the light back on. Okay, and yeah, like I said, nothing else different. All right, and then moving on to the third room, definitely got some things to show in here. So, first of all, the Heritage Lancaster is in fact the same fan, but it does have a new set of blades. Well, not actually new, but replacement set. The set of blades that was on here actually had one mismatched. I think one set of blades might have got mixed with another at one point. But it was making it run a little off balance, since I think one was a little bit off weight. But this is actually a matched set that came off of another Heritage Lancaster that I parted out for a different project, which you'll see in a minute. But since I had the matched set of 5 blades from that, I figured, well, I'll put that on here, so this is balanced a little better. So always a good thing to have it, you know, more balanced out. Also, these are a lot less warp too, so hopefully they'll stay straight for a while. I'll pull it to high so you can kind of see what I mean. Definitely better balanced with match set. Okay, put that back to low. All right, so CEC Newport is in fact the same. Hunter Low Profile 2 is the same. The Hunter Embassy is the same. The Walmart lighted housing hugger is the same. And then these first two, or well, the first two over here, are both new for tonight. So first of all, this is a Hampton Bay Huntington 1 in Verde, which is definitely cool. This was another Fanimation find. I got this from, well, Eric Laird actually got picked. He's the one who picked it up originally, and then Tyler Grant Bettis brought it to Fanimation for me. So big thank you to both of them for doing that. This is a really cool fan. You don't see the Huntington 1 pop up too often, and especially in Verde, which is always cool. This one, I think, is it from 97? I think it is. You can see that, I probably can't. Yeah, 1997, how about that? Form 1997. And when I was given the fan, it actually had the other side of the blade showing, which is more of a, let's see if we can get it on camera. Yeah, it's like more of a light oak. I think bleached oak is what Hampton Bay called that. I'm definitely more of a fan of the regular oak, so I flipped those over. And then I went with a set of ribbed shades. I think this is pretty close to what these actually came with. I've definitely seen these type of shades on Huntingtons before. And then I added the Hampton Bay fobs on this one as well. I didn't have any Verdi ones. I don't even know if that exists, but I had a couple black ones. I thought that looked pretty good on it. So really neat fan. At first glance, it kind of just looks like a builder, but I mean, it's honestly a pretty nice runner. It's way more powerful than I was expecting, at least for this installation. There's a Hampton Bay logo. And this Verdi finish is a lot like the Hunter Verdi. In fact, I think it's exactly the same. And you might be wondering, well, why did I swap out the Hunter preference that was here? Well, the bearings in that preference have been giving me a lot of problems. I've tried oiling them several times, and it just seems like they keep getting noisy and rough and stiff, so I just decided to just take that one down. I think that fan just ran really, really hard for a long period of time, and it's just, you know, those bearings are kind of at the point they need to be replaced. But this one is definitely lower mileage fan, so I figure this is a good one, and I feel better having this one run 24 hours since these usually do. And I believe when I got it, it had a down rod on it, which I switched it to flush mount, just, you know, given the nature of this installation, it's pretty low ceiling. But yeah, really cool fan, and it is 4.5. You could mount this with 4 blades if you so desire. I'm not going to show you, I can kind of see it. I went with 5 just since I usually saw Huntingtons with 5. All right, and then unfortunately, this was supposed to be a complete project, but I had a little accident. So you can see it only has 2 blades mounted right now. Well, that's because that happened. So the reason, the story behind this is a Code-Up Panama vent fan that I got from Gabe Justice at Fanimation. He found it as just a motor, I believe. I don't think there was anything else. Didn't have the mounting bracket, no blades, nothing else. So I got it from him, and my thought was, you know, I could probably piece everything together because this appears to be the same OEM as Heritage, some Encons. It's like Hu Cheng or something like that. I might be saying that wrong. But long story short, that means that a lot of Heritage parts will fit on this. So I figured, well, okay, I'll just see if I can find a similar era Heritage to part out and complete this one, since this is a arguably cooler fan, which is exactly what I did. Hence why the 5 blades appeared. That was the displaced blades from those. And the reason why I was going to mount this one with 4 is because when I got the Lancaster that I parted out to complete this, the seller broke one of the blade irons. And then tonight I broke another one accidentally because I was trying to balance it, and these irons are just super duper flimsy and cheap, and yeah, it just broke. So yeah, so I'm down to 3 now, so I can't really run it with 3, so I just put 2 on for the time being. I'm gonna probably have to find another Heritage or similar Encon type thing to part out to get this complete again. But nevertheless, I figure I would show it since it is in fact up. Yeah, so it's all original except for, I mean, the shades were ones I had that I thought looked really nice on it. Like I said, the blades are Heritage Lancaster blades, irons are Heritage Lancaster irons, and yeah, and there's the other, obviously that one's fine, but then that one broke, so I'm gonna have to find another one, unfortunately. But this fan actually is 4.5, if you didn't notice. I was gonna mount it with 4 just because, again, when I had gotten the parts fan, it was already had 1 broken iron, so I figured, oh well, you know, that's fine, I could just mount it with 4, and you know, now I'm back to square one. So, but honestly, I mean, here, I can just hold the blade up so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. That's approximately what it would look like with 4 blades, but it actually does look decent. I'm not sure. I feel like I probably like it better with 5, but we'll see what I can find in terms of parts. So now, this being a Code-Up, it's really an Encon Monarch. It's effectively the same fan as that, but since it is a Code-Up, it does have that indicator light system, which is really cool. That was one of the main points of interest with this fan for me. According to Code-Up, this is called the SIS, or Speed Indicator System. That's what they call it. Saw that in a manual, the Code-Up manual from the late 80s. I believe this one's from like 88, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember for sure. There's the tag. I don't know how little. There you go. Model number should be there. But yeah, there's, like I said, a lot of similarities to an Encon Monarch, also a lot of similarities to a Heritage Lancaster. So, and it has the same fob that you saw in a lot of Walmart CECs, interestingly. So, I don't know. But yeah, another thing, when I got this fan, one of the indicators was pretty much out. Gabe had told me that one of them was kind of finicky and one worked. And when I got it, it had a red one and an orange one. The red one was out completely. The orange one sort of worked. But I ended up just replacing them both so that they're, you know, fresh bulbs. And I figured, you know, why not put a green one in, because green's my favorite color, and why not? So technically it should be red and orange versus not green and orange, but you know, why not? It's fun. Yeah. And yeah, these blades are definitely a little bit warped. They were the ones that were on there. I'll turn the light off so you can see that a little bit better. Yeah, so obviously I'll do another update on this fan once I get the parts squared away, but for now we'll do a preliminary test with just the two blades. As you saw, the indicators switched around based on the speeds. Orange only is low, green only is medium, and both is high. Another code-up trademark that's, well, I mean, not officially, but what appears to be a pretty common code-up characteristic is having the 4 integrated fitter into the switch cap. Seems like a lot of late 80s code-ups had that set up. I actually did not know what this what the model name is. From what I could find, I actually have a manual for a late 80s code-up. I think that one was a oh shoot, what was that one called? It's a GE Vent 5-blade. Well, anyway, the manual for that actually had a bunch of names that code-up gave to their fans in the late 80s, and I'm sure this is on there, but unfortunately the manual does not have the model numbers next to the names, so it's just a list of names and parts, but it doesn't actually say what's what. So I'd imagine that name is probably on here, but I don't know what it officially is called. It's really interesting though. They code-up had a lot of model names. They had, like, you know, the Strataflight, the Meteor, the bunch of names and stuff. They actually even had an outdoor fan, which I'd be very interested to see what that is. All right, and then let's go to medium. You can see there's the green for medium. This one also seems to have pretty high mileage bearings. I did oil these ones as well, and that definitely helped. Even with the two blades, it is already moving some air. A little choppier with the two blades, but and there's high. Both blades now. Yeah, so obviously not exactly how I was hoping to present this one, but we'll definitely revisit it once I get some more irons. I do think these shades look really nice on it. I'd assume, based on other code-ups I've seen from the late 80s, they usually come with those like beaded shades that would end up being common on like 90s Heritages. But I thought these looked nice on it. They have like a very slight amber tint. Yeah, that indicator light system is definitely a neat idea. Let it spin down. Yeah, the oil definitely helped these bearings a bit. It's a little stiff when I first got it. So, but yeah, definitely look for another update on this one once I get a full set of blades, so this will look more complete, but it's definitely a neat one I wanted to demonstrate. And then let's go through the Huntington speeds as well. Turn the light off, seems like it. Yeah, I think that's actually better for the camera. Yeah, nice average low. I believe this is a air cool or maybe CEI product. There is medium. This one also has capacitor-based speeds, so I guess air cool must have been doing that in the late 90s with the Hampton Bays. Yeah, I'm definitely a sucker for anything birdie, especially out of the late 90s. When I was a kid, I always thought that was a neat finish. Good airflow. Yeah, like I was saying, I think it is actually a little bit more powerful than I was expecting, so that was a good thing. Here it is high. And I know when Tyler did a video of this fan too, he said that it was wobbling pretty bad. So I balanced it a little bit, and also being flush mounted, I think is going to get rid of a lot of it, but I got it pretty good. You can definitely see it's a little bit of shimmy, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, that'll work, I think. But yeah, no, on high, definitely a good breeze. And it's actually really fast on high too, faster than I would have thought. All right, and then spin down. Yeah, with Jonas week coming up soon, I wanted to get a couple more swaps done down here so that he'll when Jonas comes, he'll get to see all this insanity that is the Rick fan display down here. There was a weight on one of these blades. If you look real carefully, you can kind of see the. Once it stops, I can point it out. But there was a little piece of the wood grain that got ripped off when I pulled it off, so I just used a touch-up marker to fill that in, and it actually worked pretty well. But yeah, really good bearings in this one. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there, that like little chip. That was when I had one of those stick-on weights, which I think was probably making it worse, honestly, in terms of balance, because it looked like one of the irons was a little bit bent. I straightened it, and it did seem to help. But yeah, really nice fan. Glad to have this one. I'll have to do a spin down comparison of everything in this room. Yeah, and then the reason I took down the Lakeside is I actually ended up selling that one at Fanimation, and then yeah, the Hunter here came down because of the bearings. But yeah, so all right, so I think that pretty much concludes all the updates. I'll do a walkthrough tour doing the speeds in a separate video, but for now, thanks for watching and stay tuned for that. Hey guys, so this is going to be a speed demonstration tour of all the dungeon fans in the youth center basement. So this is the third room, and I've actually got everything on low already. So here is everything on low. All right, and let's go to medium. All right, and here's everything on medium in this room. Definitely feeling some air. All right, and then let's do high speed in this room. All right, here's full blast. Yeah, and I'll definitely do another better video of this one once I get some more irons. The low profile squeaking a little bit. Must be the mounting. back to low. And let's go to the middle room. So I believe everything is on low already. Yep. All right. There is medium on there. It'd be hard to get everything in the same shot, but oh, I got the bath and dressing room. All right, now let's go hide in here. All right, here's full blast in the middle room. And then I don't think there's really any reason to go through the front room since everything's exactly the same as last time, but definitely feel free to check out the last video I did down here to see the speeds on these. But when I get some more fans in this room, I'll definitely make sure to do a mass speed demonstration on there. And then of course the round nose is the same as well. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and stay posted. There'll probably be some more updates hopefully soon. So thanks for watching, and as always, bye FanStick.